What if Tensura the Eighth Primordial? Author Tenten 100. When Haru of the Minamoto dies standing after a heroic effort during the Genpei War, he is reincarnated in the world of that time. I got reincarnated as a slime, as a demon. In the Underworld, as a bottom feeder. Watch Haru climb the ranks of the demon ladder and maybe someday stand toe-to-toe with the monsters of the Underworld and the Cardinal World. Chapter 4. Haru evolves a harvest. What followed was a relentless clash that raged on for 2 days and 2 nights. True to his word, Venom never erected his barrier again. The two demons were locked in an intense battle that devastated the surrounding area, reducing everything nearby to ruin. Normal lesser demons who dared to approach were blown away by the sheer force of their conflict. At first, Venom was frustrated. As a greater demon, he should have been able to crush a lesser demon with ease. Yet, as their fight continued, he noticed something strange. He was getting stronger. The realization made his anger fade, replaced by a wide, wild grin. He could feel it. He was on the verge of a breakthrough. Haru, on the other hand, had come to learn something important over those 2 days. Venom had not yet gained his unique skill, Divider, or he would have been dead long ago. Haru recalled the Tensura novels. Even now, he still didn't understand what exactly triggered the awakening of a unique skill. Was it during evolution, or under some unknown condition? Meanwhile, Haru himself felt his magicules steadily rising throughout the battle. Bit by bit, his power was growing. He could feel it clearly now. He was on the verge of evolution. By the 3rd day, both combatants were taking a break. Though demons didn't feel fatigue, their magicules were being drained rapidly. Every now and then, they had to pause to replenish them. Haru welcomed these short breaks. Venom's blows could actually hurt him, and that pain was annoying. It wasn't unbearable, just irritating enough to get under his skin. Even when Haru managed to land a strike on Venom's soul, it would simply regenerate moments later. I'll need to raise this ability to the level of an ultimate skill if I ever want it to be practical in combat, Haru thought. Venom stood before Haru, who was still lying on the ground. "Break time's over, demon," he said. "It's time to end this. I've spent too much time fighting you." Haru rose to his feet and nodded. "I agree. The winner should be decided today." They created distance between each other, and almost as if their thoughts were in sync, they moved at the same time. This was the deciding battle. Streaks of blue and orange light streaked across the field as they moved at blinding speed. Punches and kicks collided in rapid succession, accompanied by bursts of fire magic from Haru. Fire, it seemed, was the only elemental magic that lesser demons could wield. Their duel raged on for over an hour until Haru's guard dropped for just a moment. Venom's hand pierced through his chest, impaling him. Blood spilled from Haru's mouth. He didn't possess the regenerative abilities of a greater demon. The only reason he'd survived this long was by avoiding fatal blows. Damn it all. Why did he lose focus, you ask? Because in the distance, he saw a certain figure watching the fight curiously. A man with jet-black hair, dressed in an elegant butler suit, golden eyes gleaming with interest. The future left-hand man of Rimuru Tempest, and the strongest of all primordials. Noir Black Diablo. Why the hell is he here? From afar, Diablo observed the battle in silence. His golden eyes narrowed slightly, a hint of amusement flickering within them. "Interesting," he murmured, before vanishing without a trace. Venom gritted his teeth in frustration. He could feel it. The lesser demon he had impaled had dropped his guard at the last second. Over the past 3 days, Venom had enjoyed their fight. He had come to respect this lesser demon's strength and was even beginning to see him as a rival. It was evident in the smiles they shared whenever their fists clashed, two warriors reveling in the thrill of battle. But in that fleeting instant, Haru's smile faltered. He lost focus, and Venom's hand pierced through his chest. Venom stood there, glaring down at the fallen demon, his expression dark. He was not satisfied with this ending. Haru lay on his back, purple-black blood spilling from his mouth. Through blurred vision, he could see Venom standing there, visibly frustrated. He managed a weak smile. "Punk demon, I'm sorry, man. I lost focus there." Venom sneered. "I don't want to hear that from you. What caused it?" Haru exhaled softly, his tone calm despite the hole in his chest. "I felt a very strong presence watching us, and I turned to look at him. That's all it took for me to lose. Dumb, isn't it?" To be honest, Haru wasn't angry at losing. He knew it was going to happen eventually. Venom had started holding back on him on the second day. It didn't matter whether Haru was a reincarnator or not. Venom was still a greater demon, and he was just a lesser demon. He wasn't Rimuru with great sage plot armor. Well, he thought with a faint grin, I can at least revel in the fact that I'll get reborn again anyway, or will I? It'll probably take around 100 years, right? Damn. He said aloud, I'll come find you after I get reborn again. Venom scoffed. By then I'll be an archdemon. I don't fight weaklings once I get there. Haru laughed heartily. Is that so? How many years did you stay as a greater demon, idiot? When Diablo found you, you were still a greater demon. Your talent without a name caps you right there. Unless I don't reincarnate for the next 3,000 years, when I do, you'll still be a greater demon. Venom looked down at him and muttered, Who does that demon think he is, interrupting my fight? I'm going to find him and teach him a lesson. Haru chuckled, Don't, you can't beat him. Venom shot him a glare. I don't want to hear that from someone with a hole through their chest. He turned and started walking away. Haru was about to argue back when suddenly, a voice echoed in his head. Notice. Target has completed conditions for evolution. Now evolving from lesser demon to greater demon. Haru blinked. Is this the legendary voice of the world? He said with mild surprise. Now this is interesting. Acquisition of common skill. Barrier magic successful. Acquisition of common skill. Dark bullet successful. Acquisition of extra skill. Magic manipulation successful. Acquisition of extra skill. Flight successful. Acquisition of intrinsic skill. Material creation successful. Poison resistance. Acquisition successful. Paralysis resistance. Acquisition successful. Spiritual attack resistance. Acquisition successful. Fear resistance. Acquisition successful. Target has acquired rare magic. Gravity magic. Target has acquired curse magic. Attempting acquisition of unique skill. Chronomind. Acquisition successful. Target's demonic core has evolved. Target has successfully evolved into a greater demon. What a harvest, Haru thought to himself. He instantly started regenerating as well, a huge smile on his face. I've grown extremely stronger, he thought to himself. 2 years, he thought. It took me 2 years of survival to grow this strong. Archdemon level, here I come. A few steps away, Venom came to a standstill, and he turned back and looked at Haru with a smile on his face. Chapter 5, Venom Sensei and Ajira. Using magic sense, Haru examined himself closely. Indeed, he no longer had that hideous, beast-like body. His form was now that of a normal-looking man, a lean body with some muscle and form. Maroon hair that shimmered faintly under the dim light, and 2 sleek horns curving slightly from his head. He couldn't help but admit it, he looked fairly handsome. If Hema saw him like this, she'd practically beg him to date, He laughed slightly at his unrealistic thoughts. Turning his gaze, he noticed Venom watching him with a knowing smile. Venom was happy indeed, after such a long time with no development. It seemed Haru wasn't the only one who had gained something from their long battle. Though Haru had no idea, Venom had awakened a new unique skill, Divider. This is the skill that would earn Venom a reputation in the Underworld. The ability to break down anything on a molecular level with just a touch. How terrifying. And to think Diablo just waved that attack off like it was nothing when they first met. What a monster. Venom broke the silence first. I see you've evolved and you've escaped death. What a lucky man you are. Haru stretched, rolling his shoulders lazily. I wouldn't call it luck, you know. Venom studied Haru and then frowned in disgust. Put some clothes on, you dirty bastard. Haru blinked and looked down. Indeed, he was unclothed, out in the open. Well, it wasn't exactly his fault. His nothing was visible before, but now with a human body it definitely was. Ah, right, Haru muttered, quickly using material creation. Within moments, a sharp, dignified outfit wrapped around him. A maroon suit paired with a black shirt and white tie, black gloves, and polished black shoes. Ah, clothes, he thought to himself. He had been walking around for 2 years naked, so having clothes on now felt weird. Venom squinted at him. Why the hell are you dressing like an old man? Suits are dignified, punk demon, Haru said flatly. They command respect, and I'm a greater demon now. I have to show it. Venom sighed and rolled his eyes, but Haru was already lost in thought. Then, as if remembering something crucial, he raised a hand and began channeling his magicules. Half his reserves flowed out as he forged a pristine katana, a gleaming blade with a white hilt and a matching sheath. He hung it by his waist, a satisfied smile spreading across his face. Finally, I have a sword. Without realizing it, tears began trailing down his cheeks. Venom stared, completely confused. What's that for? He asked, pointing at the sword. But once he noticed the tears, he barked out, What the hell is that for? You don't understand, punk demon, Haru said, his voice trembling with emotion. You don't know how hard it is to be a swordsman without a sword. A vein popped on Venom's forehead. Since when are you a swordsman? Since forever, Haru replied matter-of-factly. Venom growled, You didn't say that before. You never asked. Venom dropped back onto the ground with a sigh. Now my victory really doesn't even feel earned. First you were a lesser demon, and now I find out you weren't even fighting in your preferred combat style. You know what, let's call this fight a draw. I at least have that much decency. Haru sat down as well, chuckling. It's a deal, but when I have a sword, I'm literally unstoppable. Nobody has better swordsmanship than me, so you might lose. Venom scoffed. Best swordsman. I think that title belongs to that man who serves that crazy woman, John. I fought him once and he was crazy strong. John Yellow, Haru thought for a bit. Then Haru's expression shifted as realization hit him. Ajira, of course. The man formerly known as Byakuya Araki, the founder of hazy-style swordsmanship. The style used by King Gazel and the absolute beast that is Old Man Hakuro. I wonder how his style compares to my Minamoto swordsmanship, Haru thought aloud, a slightly unhinged smile forming on his face. I want to find out. Little did he know, he was already beginning to fall into the nature of his maroon lineage, a bloodline of pure battle maniacs. Venom folded his arms and looked over at Haru. So, what do you plan on doing now? Haru stretched, his expression calm. I'm going to challenge the demon swordsman, of course. Venom's eye twitched. Are you stupid? I don't want to hear that from you, Haru shot back. You were about to confront a demon way above our level just moments ago. A demon that we couldn't defeat even with our combined effort, even right now. Venom was confused and asked, Why does it sound like you are describing a primordial? That's because I am, Haru internally shouted. And that was different, Venom snapped. The demon swordsman is probably in John's territory. Those demons are crazy, I'm telling you. You don't want to be anywhere near them. Especially John, she's unhinged, popping nukes everywhere. Haru placed a hand on his chin and smiled faintly. Don't worry, I'm good at calming women down. He literally had a skill for that, he thought. Venom sighed, realizing that trying to reason with him was pointless. So you're really going to go, huh? Yes, Haru replied, his expression softening into a smile. For some reason, this is something I can't let go. The air fell silent for a moment before Haru changed the subject. What about you? What do you plan to do? Venom smirked. I'm going to train up a new skill I gained. Haru raised an eyebrow. A new skill, he muttered, eyes narrowing in suspicion. Could it be Divider? Venom's grin widened. Yes, I gained a new unique skill from our fight, and it seems crazy powerful. Haru chuckled. It seems this is where we part ways then. Venom nodded. In 100 years we'll have our rematch by then. I won't hold back. Haru laughed quietly. You're awfully confident of yourself. To demons, 100 years was nothing. It passed like a breath. Venom spread his wings, giving Haru one last sharp look. Don't die before then. He launched into the air, black wings slicing through the underworld sky. Haru watched his retreating figure with a faint smile. Goodbye, Venom-sensei, he said softly. Thank you for the lesson. Then he blinked, realizing something. Wait, didn't I basically help him awaken Divider? Does that make me a sensei too? He shook his head. No time to think about that. Looking up at the crimson clouds above, Haru smiled and unfurled his bat-like wings. Ajira, wait for me. Chapter 6. Diablo is weird. Haru was confused. He'd left his fighting spot with Venom, maybe 3 days ago. Venom had pointed him toward John's domain, and it sounded simple enough. Just head north past the Black Mountains, through the Burning Sky Valley, and he'd reach her territory. Easy. Except, well, somehow he was lost. You all don't understand, he thought bitterly. The underworld is vast. Don't blame me, you'll never understand. Still, there was a silver lining. Flying was goddamn awesome. As a lesser demon, he'd had no means of flight. Haru wasn't sure if that was normal for all lesser demons or if he'd just been unlucky. But now that he'd evolved, he had 3 ways to fly. The flight skill itself, his new wings, or simply manipulating gravity. What a life, he muttered smugly, looking down on these peasants. Then he froze. Wait, back to the topic. Because he had gotten lost, he had gone down to the surface hoping to find some greater demons, someone to ask for directions, maybe. But instead... Why, he whispered, why the hell is Noir, Primordial Black Diablo in front of me? The way Diablo was looking at him made his skin crawl. Those golden pupils gleamed within black sclera, filled with unrestrained curiosity. Am I safe? Haru muttered under his breath. The silence stretched on. Finally, unable to bear it, Haru asked, hello, can I help you? Diablo smiled faintly. Do you know me? You look extremely scared right now. Of course I know of you, Haru said quickly. The Black Primordial. Oh, Diablo tilted his head. Now I wonder how would a 2-year-old demon who's only ever interacted with one greater demon know me? His grin widened. But who cares? Damn, Haru cursed internally. I forgot. I shouldn't know about Diablo, of course. I messed up. Diablo continued, his tone almost playful. Are you lost? Haru shook his head. No, not really, just sightseeing. Is that so? Diablo mused. It's just that you've been going in circles for the past 2 days, so I thought perhaps you were looking for a certain place and just couldn't find it. Haru's eye twitched. You've been watching me, he asked with an awkward laugh. Diablo smiled wider. Well, of course, I've been watching you since your first battle with that lesser demon. That's literally my entire demon life, you weirdo, Haru screamed internally. He forced a smile. And what could be so interesting about me that you'd pay that much attention? Besides the fact that you don't have a lineage, Diablo said, eyes glinting. There's something peculiar about you. You reasoned and spoke even as a lesser demon. I feel there's much to uncover. I see, Haru said flatly. Yes, Diablo replied just as flatly. A painfully awkward silence followed. Finally, Haru cleared his throat. Well, if that's all, Noir-sama, he said, the honorific coming out hesitant and stiff. I'll be on my way. Nice meeting you. He walked past Diablo quickly, then faster, then into a full-on speed walk. But when he glanced back, his stomach dropped. Diablo was smiling and following him, step for step. Why are you following me? Haru screamed internally, trying very hard not to break into a sprint. Haru stopped mid-stride, forcing a smile as he turned back toward the walking disaster behind him. Can I help you with anything else? He asked, voice awkward but polite. Diablo smiled faintly. John's domain isn't that way. Haru's eye twitched. So you knew where I was going this entire time, he thought flatly. Thank you for the reminder, Haru said aloud. How did you know where I was going? I watched your entire fight with that greater demon, Diablo replied smoothly. Incredible battle, if I must say so myself. I'm not one to usually enjoy watching fights. Perhaps it's because you were the one fighting that I enjoyed it. His golden eyes gleamed with a strange happiness. Haru shivered. Oi, what is that smile? It's weird. No, this man is weird. I need to get away from him. Immediately. Well, Haru said, forcing a grin, I'm glad we managed to entertain you. Now, if you could just point me toward John's domain, I'll be on my way and no longer bother you. Diablo tilted his head. From what I've observed, you're terrible with directions and get distracted very easily. Take, for instance, when you reached the Black Mountains. You suddenly started smiling, took a sharp left, and failed to find your way back since then. Haru froze. Then realization hit him, followed by panic. Wait. How close was Diablo to notice changes in my face? Diablo continued calmly. Why don't I take you to John's domain? That way you won't get lost again. I really wouldn't want to impose on your time, Haru said quickly, smiling stiffly. Internally, I don't want to be anywhere near you. Please just disappear. Don't worry, Diablo said with a gentle smile. If there's one thing demons have, it's plenty of time. Haru was left momentarily speechless. I don't feel comfortable traveling with men. Sorry. Diablo's smile curved slightly. Don't worry, I can change into a woman. Before Haru could object, Diablo's form shimmered. His body shifted seamlessly. Now he had sleek black hair with a striking red streak, golden eyes that gleamed with quiet confidence and a calm, knowing smile. Dressed in a crisp white shirt, black tie, and fitted black skirt, he exuded a sharp, elegant air, composed, alluring, and subtly intimidating. Haru's eyes widened, and then carefully he thought, why does his female version Loki look hotter than Tensura? Wait, no. Why am I thinking about that? This is Diablo. Plus, Tensura slander will not be tolerated even from myself. Tensura will forever, until the end of time, be the hottest Tensura female character. Is this better? Diablo asked in a smooth, feminine voice, her tone dripping amusement. Then Haru sighed. He's not letting me go, he thought grimly, but this might work in my favor. Haru had been thinking of how to make sure none of the yellow demons interfere in the fight, especially that nuke demon Karara. If Diablo's here, maybe he can keep Karara occupied so I can have a clean one-on-one with Ajira. Fine, Haru said finally, a small smile on his lips. You can come with me, but I'm going to need your help. Keep John away from your fight, right? Diablo replied instantly. Consider it done. Haru blinked. How did he? Then he stopped himself. There is no point in trying to find out. Please revert back to your original form, he said instead, sighing. That female form is unsettling for me. Diablo smiled almost alluringly. How demanding, what's this? I thought you hated men. Haru's nose suddenly began to bleed. Why is my nose bleeding? He panicked inwardly, wiping it quickly as Diablo chuckled softly. Chapter 7. Long time no see, John. All right then, Haru said, steadying himself. Which direction is John's territory in? Diablo, now back in his male form, replied simply, "We don't need to worry about that," and began walking toward Haru. Haru frowned. "Why would we not need to worry about that?" Diablo smiled, placed a hand on Haru's shoulder and said, "Because we can just teleport there." Before Haru could register the words, space warped, colors folding, air twisting, and suddenly they stood inside a broken-down building. In front of them sat the tyrant herself. Jaune, better known as Karara, had her eyes closed with a smile of enjoyment on her face. Casually massaging her shoulder was a woman Haru recognized. The tyrant's friend who would in the future be named by Rimuru as a spree. This woman was the one who always egged on Karara's erratic behavior, giving Aegera a massive headache as the voice of reason. Haru internally screamed. "This idiot Diablo teleported us right into enemy territory, didn't he? And without a warning, too." Diablo then said casually with a satisfied smile, "We are here. That was way faster than having to fly all the way, wasn't it?" Haru internally scoffed, "Idiot. If Diablo wasn't here and someone like Venom or something had teleported them straight to Karara, he would have cursed them 10 million times. The only reason he was composed is because he knew Diablo could lay to waste Karara, Esprit, and Aegera all at the same time alone." Karara opened her eyes, her gaze sharp and filled with disdain. "Noir, what are you doing here?" Diablo smiled calmly. "Well, how are you doing, Jaune? It's been a while, hasn't it?" "I wasn't planning on seeing you ever again," Karara replied flatly. "What do you want?" Diablo responded, "How cold. Is that how you greet your sibling you have seen in a long time?" Karara just looked at him with scorn. Seeing that Karara wasn't taking the bait, he went straight to the point. "I heard you have a swordsman under you," Diablo said. Esprit cut in immediately. "And what's that got to do with you, you weirdo?" Diablo's eyes went cold. A suffocating wave of demonic pressure, demon haki, exploded from him, crushing down on Esprit. "A mere subordinate should shut up. I wasn't talking to you. Learn your place." Esprit gritted her teeth, struggling against the suffocating pressure, only for Karara's own demon haki to surge outward and slam against Diablo's. "Watch whose friend you threaten," Karara said, voice low and deadly, "or I'll kill you." Haru watched the exchange with growing dread. Monsters, these were actual monsters. He wasn't even sure if Esprit was an archdemon yet, but even standing in front of her made his instincts scream that he'd die in a fight. And compared to Diablo and Karara, he didn't even enter the equation. He really needed to grow stronger, he thought. Diablo retracted his pressure and smiled. "My apologies, Jaune. My temper has been particularly low as of recent." Esprit straightened, brushing off the lingering force, and snarled as if she hadn't been crushed by haki alone just now. "Jaune, let's kill this bastard today. He's in our domain. All our demons are here. He has no way out." Karara raised a hand. "Keep quiet a bit." Esprit went quiet. Karara leaned back slightly. "I actually want to hear what he's here for, and who that weird-looking demon behind him is." Haru inwardly complained, "Who are you calling weird, you damn heartthrob?" To be honest, Karara was actually very beautiful in person. Nowhere near Testarossa, but she was beautiful. Fuse, really, did a good job with the women in his novel. Karara's eyes slid to Haru, then to the katana at his waist. "A new subordinate, Noir. I thought you didn't like subordinates." She looked Haru up and down. "And a swordsman." Diablo smiled and glanced behind him at Haru. "Well, Jaune, you've hit the jackpot. He is indeed a swordsman, and today's meeting is all about him." His smile widened. "Unfortunately, he's not my subordinate." Karara hummed. "A swordsman looking for another swordsman. I get where this is going, but I'll let you, greater demon, say it." Haru took the cue. He stepped forward. "I'd like a one-on-one fight with the demon swordsman under you." Karara burst out laughing. And what made you think I'd allow that? And Diablo, if this demon isn't your subordinate, why are you helping him? Esprit scoffed. Both these two are idiots. They should really die here, John. Just give me the word. Diablo, still smiling, spoke. John, bring out the swordsman. Carrera's eyes narrowed. Why should I do what you want, Noir? Don't take me lightly. Diablo's smile faded. His gaze went cold. That wasn't a request, John, he said, voice hardening. It was a demand. Bring out the swordsman. Carrera's expression twisted with fury as she glared at Diablo. You're ordering me around. Who the hell do you think you? She didn't even finish the sentence. By the time she moved, Diablo was already in front of her. His hand clamped over her face. And then slam. He drove her head into the ground with enough force to carve a massive crater through the entire building. The shockwave shredded the floor, stone exploding outward. Carrera's face split and bled for a moment, but it regenerated instantly. Not that it mattered. Diablo kept her pinned down with casual, terrifying ease. Jaune, Esprit screamed and lunged. But no one even saw what Diablo did. One moment Esprit was charging. The next, she was a blur crashing through a distant wall, swallowed by debris. Diablo turned toward where she landed, expression filled with clear disdain. I thought I said subordinates should mind their own business. Haru didn't move, didn't breathe, didn't blink. Low diff. He had low diffed Carrera and her strongest subordinate, in seconds. So this is the power of the future strongest Primordial, the strongest amongst both demons and angels alike. Beneath Diablo's palm, Carrera thrashed. Noir, you bastard, I'll kill you, I'll kill you. The smile was gone from Diablo's face. John, why must you be so stubborn? It was a simple demand. Do you truly need to create so much trouble for me? You caught me off guard, that's all, Carrera shouted. Once I get up, I'll nuke you 10 million times and make sure you never regenerate again. Haru scoffed internally. Caught off guard. He blitzed you cleanly, Carrera. Don't lie to yourself. Then a new figure rushed in, sword sheathed at his side. Noir, I'm here, please let John-sama go. Haru's eyes widened. Black medium-length hair, blue top, white pants, red-sheathed sword. Ajira, the man formerly known as Byakuya Araki, founder of hazy-style swordsmanship. Diablo glanced at Ajira, then at the sword, then at Haru for confirmation. Haru nodded. Esprit burst from the rubble, saw Ajira, and immediately yelled, You, swordsman, let's attack together. He can't possibly take on the 3 strongest demons of the yellow lineage alone at once. Ajira shook his head. I'm not doing that, and Noir is not alone. He clearly came with someone who intends to face me. Besides, he exhaled calmly. If there's a way to end this without a battle, that would be better. Carrera scoffed. You coward, are you scared of Noir, or are you doubting my strength? I would never doubt John-sama, Ajira replied. I simply want to hear the terms of this one-on-one fight and what brought it on. I do not recall offending this greater demon, but if I have, I want to know. Carrera huffed but relented. Fine. Diablo lifted his hand and let her go. That wasn't so hard now, was it, John? Carrera replied, Don't get cocky, Noir. I was having a bad day and got caught off guard, that's all. Esprit immediately complained, John, are you seriously letting this go? Shut up, Carrera snapped. This is for the swordsmen to decide. They aren't here for us anyway. She rose and casually brushed debris off her shoulders. Ajira turned to Haru with a polite smile. Hello, greater demon. Do we perhaps know each other?